Hello and welcome to the 5 Things You Need to Know podcast. I'm Chabi Jaram Singh and I produce business and investment stories for MoneyMind on CNA. In this episode, we're looking at the 5 things you need to know about vaccine stocks. In particular, we're looking at biotech and healthcare companies in the race to find a COVID-19 vaccine, and if you should invest in them. Joining me now is Brad Lonka, CEO of Lonka Investments. Hi Brad, welcome to the show.
Hi Chabi, thanks for having me.
Brad, you're a biotech investor and you're closely following COVID-19 vaccine development. Where are we in the vaccine race and how soon do you think we'll find a vaccine?
If everything goes well, we're at the beginning of what may be the final stages of testing vaccines. So there's a handful of vaccines around the world that are in what we call phase 3 testing. Phase 3, when you're developing a drug or a vaccine, is the final stage. And in this case, what that means is you go to an area of the world where COVID is still a problem. You get tens of thousands of volunteers. You give usually half of them a vaccine and half of them a placebo shot. And you see that hopefully the vaccine group will come down with less COVID-related disease. So you have studies like that happening right now in places like Brazil and South Africa, and now in the United States. It's actually in the news a lot right now because we're all wondering if the answer to this is going to come before the election that we have on November 3rd, which is a key date politically here.
When a vaccine is found, what will it mean for the biotech sector?
In terms of biotech and biotech investing, the importance of this sector and the importance of science and biology has really opened the eyes of a lot of investors. And this has been an industry of focus. Biotech and healthcare was one of the first sectors to really bounce back. It's really the traditional economy stocks that are playing catch up. And so I think if we can succeed with a vaccine sooner rather than later, it'll solidify in people's minds how important biotech is. And, maybe it's something that they'll continue to invest in the years ahead.
There are a few companies leading the vaccine race and have started phase 3 studies, as you mentioned. In the US, we have Moderna. Pfizer has partnered with German company BioNTech. AstraZeneca in the UK has partnered with Oxford University. There are also Chinese companies like Sinovac testing their trial vaccine. When a vaccine is found and adopted globally, how will it affect share prices of these companies?
That's a good question. I'm actually very skeptical and very bearish about what I call virus stocks, these vaccine makers and these therapy makers, because one success can really cancel out others. We actually saw this in the United States very recently. The large pharmaceutical company Abbott came out with a diagnostics test that can diagnose COVID in 5 minutes and would only cost $5. And when that was approved by the US FDA, that really crashed a lot of the other diagnostics companies that were riding high over, the previous 4 or 5 months throughout all of this that had more traditional diagnostics technologies. So you have to be very careful and really appreciate the risks if you're an investor on the therapy and vaccine side, because a vaccine or vaccines, we really need more than one. A lot of people have just been throwing money at these headlines and these COVID stocks without really appreciating, number one, the financials of this, and number two, the long-term picture. And another thing to keep in mind that's very important is that a lot of companies are not intending to profit off of this, at least not for the time being. So if you're a vaccine maker, you have to consider that you may have to compete with AstraZeneca that's pledged that while this is a global problem, they're not going to profit off their vaccine. They're selling it for $4 a dose in many places.
It's been all hands on deck for these healthcare and biotech companies as they rush to develop a vaccine. Do you think valuations look a bit toppy right now?
My opinion is yes. The risk today is significantly higher than 4 or 5 months ago when the valuations of these companies was much lower. My opinion is that most of them have overshot the realistic value of the economics behind this. Another thing that investors have to be very careful about, especially investors who are new to investing in biotech and healthcare, is that A lot of companies, sadly, are trying to take advantage of this situation and trying to position themselves as being competitive vaccine and therapy developers that really aren't. So think of it as an investor today. I think even the credible good companies in many cases may be overvalued. And then you have a lot of pretenders. This happens a lot when these problems arise. It happened with Ebola, it happened with Zika, it's happening now.
Why have valuations dipped slightly, even when we haven't found a vaccine?
Number one, the valuations overshot, and it's just kind of natural that they're starting to come down. Number two, some of these things fail. 2 or 3 months ago, everything from a stock market perspective was being priced as if it was going to succeed. People are saying that's not the reality.
This also means investors need to brace for volatility. As we have seen over the past couple of weeks, any news, good or bad, can affect the share price.
Even good companies have major setbacks all of the time. There's a great company, Regeneron, that had an anti-inflammatory medicine that even experts, were very optimistic about. And it just announced that trial failed a couple of days ago. So I think the first thing is, in our business, actually the norm is that most things don't succeed. And biotech is always a roller coaster. It's almost always one of the most volatile sectors. The number one piece of advice that I could give to anybody that's considering investing in biotech is that you also have to be diversified.
Before we talk more about diversification, just to take stock, I've been speaking with Brad Lonka, CEO at Lonka Investments, and we've been talking about the 5 things you need to know about vaccine plays. So far, we have talked about how far we have come in the race to develop a vaccine, impact on share prices when a vaccine is found, and the high valuation some biostock companies are seeing right now. Brad, you highlighted that it's important to be diversified. Let's pick up on that. Should investors then put their money, let's say, in the top 5 leading companies, or should they be looking at ETFs?
I'm a big believer in ETFs. In fact, that's what my company does, so I'm a little biased. Real quick though, what you said is interesting. Should you put money in just the top 5 vaccine companies? Another thing to consider very carefully is how much of the company's value is exposed to that one thing. AstraZeneca, of course, is a global behemoth. If that vaccine fails, AstraZeneca is not going to crash because the vaccine is a small piece of what they do. A company like Moderna, which has been in the news a lot, they have a wide pipeline, but so far they don't have any other medicines or vaccines on the market today. So if the Moderna vaccine fails, that stock may crash. And if it succeeds, it may very well go up a lot too, because that vaccine is so much of the value of that one company. So if you're playing individual names, which again can be very risky and very dangerous, that at a minimum is something you need to consider, is how much of the current value of this company is this particular thing. Now, ETF strategies, I think for most people, an index-based approach where you're investing in dozens and dozens of companies is really the way to do this. Another thing to consider, we're in the heat of the moment right now, and it's been a very scary year. Hopefully one day we're going to overcome this. And one thing that excites me is we're at such an amazing moment in biology today. There's so many technologies that are new and disruptive and really can change medicine forever. Things like gene therapy, and in cancer, there's a lot of new things, something called immunotherapy, using the immune system to treat cancer, and what we call precision oncology. It's becoming apparent to the world how powerful some of these scientific tools are today.
We're about to wrap up the conversation, but before we go, let's talk about developments in China's biotech sector. There are some Chinese companies developing COVID-19 vaccines. In fact, some of their vaccines from the likes of Sinovac and Sinopharm are in the last stages of testing. Brad, you have created 2 ETFs, and one of them is the China Biopharm ETF. Why are you bullish on China's biotech sector?
So not everybody knows this yet, but there is a true biotech boom happening in China today. If you could go back in time and invest in the US biotech sector when it was just getting started, Companies that we now know like Amgen and Genentech and Celgene were just brand new, and biotech was new to the US. That's what's happening in China today. Before today, essentially, China's drug sector was almost 100% generics based. There was very little innovation and very little R&D happening. And there's a whole handful of things that are changing that. The first is the government. The government of China understands that biotech is an important industry in the future. It's part of the new economy. And China wants to not only be self-sufficient in biotech, but globally competitive. China has also completely revamped their FDA. It's now called the National Medical Products Administration. They've brought that to global standards. And the stock exchanges have also made important changes. Until 2 years ago, biotech companies couldn't even list on the stock exchanges in China. So like in Hong Kong, for example, 2 years ago, they created a rule just for biotech companies because before you had to have a certain amount of profit and revenue to list on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. And most biotech companies don't have that. Most biotech companies are what we call development stage and don't really have approved products yet. So they didn't have a stock market for a biotech sector. The Hong Kong Stock Exchange created something called the biotech chapter 2 years ago that allows true pre-revenue biotech companies to list there now for the first time. Because of that, and since then, there's been a boom of dozens of biotech companies that have listed on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. And the mainland exchanges, there's something called the Star Market in Shanghai and also Shenzhen on the Chinext are now allowing pre-revenue biotech companies to list for the first time too. So you have this perfect storm of changes.
So getting in early in the game would give investors a first mover advantage. There's certainly a lot of excitement in the biotech space right now, not just in China, but across the world. Brad, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me on.
That was Brad Lonka, CEO of Lonka Investments, and you've been listening to the 5 Things You Need to Know podcast by CNA's MoneyMind team. Thank you for joining us and catch you next time.